So let's talk about a family pushed to the absolute brink. We're diving into a story of famine, a betrayal that runs bone deep, and a brutal test of character that literally almost starts a war. This isn't just a family reunion, you see. It's a reckoning.
And that is where this is all headed. A threat to wipe an entire kingdom off of the map, spoken to the second most powerful man in the world. So how on earth does a simple quest for food spiral into a declaration of total war? Well, to get that, we have to go back to the beginning of the end. The world is starving. After 7 years of just unbelievable abundance, the prophesied famine is here, and it is an absolute catastrophe. Every nation is caught in its grip, and there's only one place on the entire planet that has bread: Egypt.
It's like a switch just flipped. The good times, they are officially over. The accounts describe a famine that just blankets all the lands. The whole world just grinds to a stop, and the only thing that matters anymore is survival. For pretty much everyone, whatever they stored up, it just wasn't enough. And here's where it gets truly horrifying. Even the Egyptians, the ones who are supposed to be prepared, they open up their personal grain stores and find it's all worthless, crawling with vermin, totally inedible. It's a chilling detail that shows you nobody was safe. Only one man's plan, one divinely inspired strategy, is standing between civilization and total collapse. And that man is Joseph.
So Joseph opens the storehouses, but he does it with a set of ironclad laws. And these aren't just for managing the crowds. Oh no, this is a trap, a perfectly designed net. First, only sons can buy grain, which forces the very men he's looking for to show up in person. Second, you resell the grain, you die. That stops any war profiteering. And third, the masterstroke. Everyone who enters Egypt gets registered: your name, your father's name, your grandfather's name. Joseph is building a database for one reason and one reason only: to snag his brothers the second they set foot in his country. And, of course, they walk right into it. Back in Canaan, Jacob sends 10 of his sons to Egypt. They're driven by hunger, yeah, but they're also haunted by this gnawing guilt. On the way there, they actually repent for what they did to Joseph, vowing they'll find him and rescue him. They have no clue they're walking straight into his trap.
Now the brothers, they think they're being clever. They come up with their own strategy. To not draw attention and to help their search, they all enter the city through 10 different gates. For 3 days, they comb the streets, even chedging the red light districts, thinking maybe their handsome brother ended up in a place like that. And every single move they make is a catastrophic mistake.
And then it happens. The moment of truth. They get rounded up and brought before the vizier. They bow down, faces to the dirt, looking up at this figure of just immense power. All they can see is his massive golden crown, a symbol of absolute, untouchable authority. He is a world away from the boy they threw in that pit. And from that throne, he drops the hammer. Ye are spies.
And Joseph's takedown is just brutal. It's surgical. He uses their own paranoid strategy against them as proof. Why 10 gates? Only spies would sneak in like that. Why were you casing the brothels for 3 days? You were mapping the city's weak points. He takes their entire secret mission to find him and flips it into a perfect indictment. It's a flawless trap.
But you gotta understand, this isn't just about revenge. It's a test. Joseph has to know, are these the same cold-blooded men who sold him into slavery 20 years ago? So he starts to apply calculated, unbearable pressure. He's going to see if they break or if they finally changed. First up, bam! He throws them all in prison for 3 days, lets them stew in it. Then he lays out the terms. One of you is staying behind as a hostage, and he picks Simeon. But Simeon, he's a powerful guy. He fights back. The sources say he lets out this scream that's so terrifying, Joseph's 70 elite guards fall back in fear. And then, the real shocker, Joseph's own young son, Manasseh, just steps forward and drops the mighty Simeon with a single punch. The brothers are just floored. They realize they have no idea who or what they're dealing with. And the mind games continue on the road home. Levi opens up one of the sacks of grain, and there it is, his payment. The silver he used to buy the grain returned in full. Now you'd think this would be a relief, right? Nope. It is pure terror. For them, that glinting money is a divine setup. They think God himself is exposing their guilt, framing them as thieves, and their paranoia just goes into absolute overdrive. Back home, things get desperate.
The food runs out again. They have to go back to Egypt, and this time they have to bring their youngest brother, Benjamin. Jacob refuses until Judah, the very same brother who suggested selling Joseph in the first place, steps forward. He makes this incredible vow, putting his own eternal soul on the line for Benjamin's safety. This is it. This is the first real sign that something has changed. Judah is not going to lose another brother.
So this is where it all comes to a head. The brothers return to Egypt, Benjamin in tow, and Joseph's test goes into its final, most brutal stage. The pressure cooker is about to explode, and a power that has been dormant for years is about to be unleashed. Joseph plays his last card. He has a silver cup planted in Benjamin's sack and has them all arrested. His demand is simple, and it is cruel. The thief, Benjamin, will become his slave for life. You see what he's doing, right? He's recreating the exact same situation, asking them if they'll abandon another of Rachel's sons to save their own skin. But this time, Judah doesn't play. He steps forward and makes the offer that changes history. Take me instead. From there, things just escalate. Threats are flying back and forth. Joseph is mocking them, and Judah's rage finally boils over. The talking is done. He reaches down and grabs this nearby stone, a massive rock weighing around 400 shekels, and just lifts it with one hand. And then he squeezes, and the stone just disintegrates, crumbles into dust from the sheer force of his grip. It's a superhuman display of strength, and it terrifies Joseph. But then, get this, Manasseh, Joseph's son, calmly picks up a similar stone and does the exact same thing. And in that moment, it clicks for Judah. These are not ordinary Egyptians. They're from his father's house. But the standoff isn't over. Judah lets out a roar. And I don't mean a shout, I mean a cataclysmic sound wave. The sources say all of Egypt quaked, walls collapsed, Pharaoh himself was thrown from his throne, and the shock wave was so powerful it caused miscarriages across the land. The terrified Pharaoh sends an urgent message to Joseph: let them go before they destroy us all.
The test is over. Judah and his brothers were willing to tear down an entire kingdom for Benjamin. They passed. So Joseph clears the room, breaks down completely, and in the quiet chaos, he speaks the three words that change everything. The fighting stops, the world stops. I am Joseph. And just like that, the tone shifts. It goes from an earth-shattering fight to this profound moment of reconciliation. The storm has finally broken, and now, in the aftermath, the long, painful work of putting a shattered family back together begins. And what's the first thing Joseph does? He doesn't condemn them. He reframes the entire story. He tells his stunned brothers that, yes, what they did was evil, but God used it. He says God sent him to Egypt to save lives. It's this moment of unbelievable grace, giving them a path to forgiveness without just ignoring what they did. And this all leads to the great reunion. Joseph sends for his father, and the scene is just epic. Joseph rides out with this huge entourage, wearing a regal crown that Pharaoh himself sent for the occasion. He steps down from his chariot, nobles bowing all around him, and he embraces his father Jacob for the first time in more than 20 years. The son they sold as a slave is now welcoming his family as a prince of Egypt. It's an incredible story of transformation for sure, but it leaves us with this really deep question. After a test this violent, a trauma this profound, and a reconciliation this epic, what does forgiveness actually look like? Is it a totally clean slate, or is it about learning to live with the scars? The story, well, it doesn't give us an easy answer.